Well, that was painful to watch. It hurt me. I think Deion Sanders is a cool dude, but if he weren't an old man, they'd be charging Nebraska with child abuse because he got spanked. And he blames the O line, and he's right. But at the same time, who built the O line? The guy just dumped all his dudes from last season, puts in a bunch of new guys in one of the positions that is just known to be one where you got to develop guys. It will be interesting to see if he tries that approach again at the end of this season. If he says, you know what, if y'all can't do it, well, let's put in some other people. I hope he wouldn't do that. I don't think he would do that. That would be the dumbest thing he could do because that's what put him in this mess. To get out of it, he needs to stick with these guys. He got talented guys, and now he's got to give them a chance to learn how to do what they need to do so that he can have a shot at winning some games. But I don't know. He says they never got it together, and they didn't. They finally stopped him from scoring in the second half, but it was not pretty. Shadur left the game early. I don't know. I mean, he says he wasn't hurt. Seems like he could have waited 2 more minutes to get checked for a concussion or whatever, but he went on back. I understand why you would want to, but the optics are just not great. Deion Sanders and Colorado seem almost like the opposite of Clemson and Dabo Swinney. Dabo's against the portal, or at least, avoids using it to the point that people are criticizing him for it. And he's got some concerns about NIL and how all that money comes in and how it affects players. And then on the other hand, you got Deion Sanders, who he's just looking for the best players he can put on the field. And he wants to get them as paid as he can. And he's not really maybe so worried about any of the repercussions of that. Or maybe he is. I don't know. But it's very interesting to see how this is not quite panning out at Colorado so far. I think it could. I hope he can turn it around. I hope he can figure it out. I think he's very fun to see in the sport. I was rooting for them against Nebraska. I was bummed when they just couldn't even do anything. Thought it was at least going to be a game. And Shadur Sanders seemed like he was doing his best, but he just really didn't have the time. But again, that seems to be his dad's fault. So we'll see what happens. What do you think? You like Deion Sanders, or are you a hater? It's funny. I feel like Deion Sanders is kind of like the Donald Trump of college football. He's very entertaining. And since it's sports, not politics, so it doesn't affect real life, and you can just have fun with it and enjoy his performance. So what about you? Do you enjoy the performance? I think there's a lot of people who just hate to see anybody be that confident. And I don't really know why you would care. I never really liked professional wrestling except for the promos. I want that. And I think Deion Sanders brings that. We need more of that, kind of like that Steve Spurrier kind of stuff. The problem is Steve Spurrier was always funny, but it was kind of a bummer when his team was not performing well and he had to be funny at his own team's expense and throw some of his dudes under the bus. I think Deion Sanders would be a lot funnier when he's doing very well and can be making fun of all his opponents instead. Will that time ever come? You tell me.